Okay, so Halloween weekend. You're hopefully seeing this on Halloween if I somehow get this together and edited and up. Happy Halloween. I am feeling in the spooky mood. This evening, we're going to watch our non-spooky spooky movie night, which the short list is Mummy, Beetlejuice, and 90s Mummy, by the way, which I still haven't seen, so like, it's top of the list. Beetlejuice, which I have seen, really love, and maybe Dawn of the Dead, which I think I have seen. But zombie movies are like the closest we get to scary movies, so we might let ourselves do that. But I doubt we'll get to all three, but I love our non-spooky spooky movie nights. But this primarily will be a vlog about me reading 3 spooky things, hopefully within like a 24 to 36 hour period. It's like sort of a challenge, because again, I want to try to get this up for you guys Monday, and it is Friday afternoon. So what do we have on the list? We have What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I for sure think I can knock this out. I need another T. Kingfisher. I bought this with the intention of reading it this weekend. So let's do it, and it's based off an Edgar Allan Poe story. I love Edgar Allan Poe. Let's go. And then I have 2 graphic novels, because who is she? First one is Batman, The Long Halloween, which I'm so pumped to read. Like, this might be the first one I start, because it's so many people's favorite Batman comic, and I love superhero stuff, and I read Batman Year One earlier this year, and I've been wanting to do this because of the Batman movie being like kind of inspired by those 2 comics. So I'm excited. I actually just commented on one of my friends' videos today about how I'm reading it, and they're like, oh my god, that's my favorite. So it has me really excited, like just, residual hype. So this is a graphic novel I want to get to. And then it was a recommendation on my spooky recommendation video to read Through the Woods, which is, I think, a graphic novel, YA, I think it's YA, or at least it's shelved in teen at my library, which is all I have to go on at the moment. But I think there are 5 stories in this graphic novel collection, and that sounds so fun, and it looks so spooky. So I think realistically, I can read all 3 of these things between tonight and Sunday morning. And I think that'll be a fun, spooky time, and I'll take you along with me as I do spooky things. Not really, there's not a lot. I'll probably just be checking out these books, but I want to have my candles on, I want to be cozy, I want to read spooky things, which is why I went kind of visual, because I'm not a visual person, but I think visual things can be very creepy. So let's see, I will check in as I have thoughts, and hopefully the cats will participate in this vlog. Alright, so I have a little time, and I am going to start, I think, one of the graphic novels. I don't know which one. Stay tuned. Also, yes, my box light. But I got a thing in the mail, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So, here we go. It is, finally, my special edition version of The Library at Mount Char. This is the bowl. If you've read the book, you know. So, like, I like the dust jacket. I don't think, it's not why I bought the book. I just don't like the actual cover. But I really, really like the feel of the naked hardcover, and I mean, like, the library. The end pages, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but they're textured and really cool. It's signed. I'm just so excited. So that's all. I really like this book. You can briefly see my autumnal setup, and now it is time to read part of this before the Bruins and spooky non-spooky movies tonight, which I also haven't told you guys, but that means there's like a 99% chance you're gonna get Kitten footage in a minute. right, good morning. I have finished The Long Halloween, which was a really pleasant time. I know this is like one of people's like top Batman things, and I would say not really like Halloween based, although Halloween happens twice in this book, but I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the arcs of the characters. I enjoyed being in something familiar, but also seeing it develop differently. I don't know, comics are just like a really interesting thing for me to explore these days. Just the way character work and world building is done and emphasis on certain scenes. And I definitely didn't see some things going to happen in here, even though I'm familiar with a fair bit of the source material. And I loved the structure of this. I don't know if I should talk a lot about this. A lot of Batman movies are inspired by events that happen in here. Both the Dark Knight series and the newest Batman have moments that pull from this. I really liked the drawings. I liked most of them, at least, especially like the big scenes, like the huge panels were really great. I didn't always like that they constricted themselves to a minimal color palette, if you guys care about my artistic graphic thoughts. And something I didn't know going in that I thought was really cool is that each issue is a different holiday. And I enjoyed that. Like, it was a really cool way, I think, to pace out this story. And I really enjoyed every minute I spent reading it. I was like really eager to get to the end because I also think, even though knowing what I know about the Batman universe, the mystery in this was very compelling, which, yeah, as someone who doesn't always get on with noir, detective, mystery stuff, it worked great. So we do have the sequel to this. I don't think I'll read it this weekend unless I have time, but we do have Dark Victory, I think is the sequel to this one, which I hear has Robin, and I love Robin. But I'm cleaning a bit around the house today, and then probably this afternoon, evening, I will either be here or I might be at my friend's cat sitting, but I will be reading the other graphic novel, And What Moves the Dead. So I am excited, and I'll give you thoughts. You probably have already seen all the kitten footage. His name's Tony. I love him with all of my heart. Like, I love Tony so much. He's such a sweet baby. I love him. Ooh, let me readjust real quick. My arm was getting tired. Not that this really helps, but it's a little better. But I watched The Mummy for the first time last night. And it was really fun. Oh my gosh, it's so campy. It's so 1990s. I had a really good time. It's very tropey. It's very campy. It definitely leans into some stereotypes I don't like approve of. But I had a good time. And like, even when the CGI is like really bad, and it's pretty bad, I had a really fun time with the story of it all and like how it leaned into like the adventure quest tropes of that genre. So that's really all I have. I just like wanted to say that I finally watched the 1990s Mummy. Brendan Fraser is my favorite version of like kind of an alpha hero. I think he really toes that line really well. So his character in this I thought was phenomenal. I thought it was great. I really loved the banter between him. And, like, it was like a great romance. It was lovely. Anyways, so those are my brief movie thoughts. I probably won't watch anything else tonight unless like I finish my books, and then maybe I'll watch Batman, because now I'm in the mood for Batman, like the new one, and I have HBO, so that could happen. So yeah, these are, my quick check-ins on thoughts. I'm just glad I finally read the Batman, The Long Halloween, and Batman Year One this year. I just have not read the comics of some of my favorite or more influential superheroes, and so I'm excited to get into that. If you don't know, Ashley at A Bookish Realm has this comics channel that I've been watching, and every week she does these weekly updates of what's coming out, and like, I would love to get into reading comics more frequently or finding issues that I like find interesting. So that's a resource I'm using as someone like on the internet. If you were curious, I highly recommend you check out both of her channels. And yeah, I will check in once I have other bookish thoughts. All right, so time to check in because I've read some things, as you probably saw. At least I showed some of my cats because they were being very cute. But I read some of The City We Became because it's eldritch horror adjacent, but also I've been slowly reading it because next week the second book comes out, so obviously. I've just been slowly reading that though because the chapters are pretty long and it's just a fun, slow reread. But I did start and finish Through the Woods, which is 5 short story graphic novel, kind of creepy, wood adjacent. And I think the last one's my favorite. The last one was the only one that really made me a little uncomfortable and gave me some slight chills, probably because the drawings, those were particularly terrifying drawings, at least for me. But I think in general, one of the consistent trends of these stories, without like giving any of them away, is that they kind of end, which is something that can be okay for me, especially for like spooky, haunting things. But sometimes, more often than not, especially just in short story prose and I guess graphic novel or otherwise, I don't necessarily usually like when stories end abruptly. And without like some tiny bit of catharsis. Like, I understand the nature of hauntings and horrors and, you know, folk tale stories. You don't always get a good resolution, but this one is definitely, at least the first couple ones I wanted. There were, so let's see, let me look at the table of contents, because I think 2 of them actually landed really well for me. But the other 3 I think were generally ones that wouldn't stay in my mind. Oh my god, where's the table of contents? I'm so bad at things. All right, I found it. So yeah, Our Neighbor's House, I wish I got a tiny bit more. A Lady's Hands Are Cold. Yeah, I didn't even remember that one. It was kind of creepy though. His Face All Red. Yeah, that one just ended. It was very Telltale Heart though. My Friend Jenna I liked, and The Nesting Place. So the last 2 stories, which were also the longer 2 stories, I liked the most in this collection, but I'm glad I read it. It was like really pleasant way to spend like my early evening. And now I have started What Was the Dead. And I have access to the audiobook. And it's awesome. I'm immersion reading this. I'm only 2 chapters in. But T. Kingfisher's ability to make dialogue scenes that I cannot look away from, unmatched. Third work. I've read a short story, I've read a novel, this is my first novella, and I'm already like, yes, I love all these character interactions. I'm enjoying this world, the house and the descriptions, the horse, already great, already rooting for the horse. So that's my plan for the rest of the evening. I want to read this while listening, and you know, it's spooky and dark and it'll be fun. And I'll check in with my thoughts and wrap up this kind of quick little mini Halloween vlog. All right, I finished it. I finished What Was the Dead. And T. Kingfisher, man, why have I not read like a book by her every month? Why? The answer is so many shiny books are around me. But this is very short. It's like 160 pages and it's novella pages. So, you know, margins for days. And there is a cast of characters, right? We have our main character, Alex. We have the ushers. We have, one's name's Maddie and the other one's Richardson. We have Denton, the American. We have Miss Potter, the fungi expert. And we have Agnes. First of all, somehow I remembered all their names, because I always remember all their names when it's a T. Kingfisher book, because they are somehow, in this much pages, all incredibly distinct, fun individuals to have on the page. Like, the minute I'm with Alex, I'm just like, oh, I love your brain. I love your musings. I love how you think. Oh, a lot of it was relatable. Like, I kind of want to go through. I want to reread it, obviously. And the audiobook's great. Highly recommend. I think I want to read it with my eyes and, like, actually, like, try to capture some of the quotes. Because similarly to Nettle and Bone, there were moments where I'm like, I feel seen in this just, like, one-off line. There are moments dedicated to just, like, the team together. I really loved just all of the characters' interactions, how relationships developed, how we were caught up to date on certain relationships. The horse was great. The fungi was spectacularly creepy, and like the ability for me to know basically what the story's doing. I haven't actually read House of the Fall of Usher in a very long time, but like the cover kind of shows you fungal infection, fungi, the stuff. It's not that hard, right? And once the characters find out though and are on the same page as you, it's like, yeah, like who's safe? What's happening? What's around the corner? I thought that climactic tension of a traditional like thriller or horror was done incredibly well. Oh, hello, Delilah. You guys can't tell maybe, but Delilah decided to show up. Anyways, so I loved that. I loved the author's note reading that. I don't know, I just need to read more by T. Kingfisher. I've now read a short story, a novella, and a novel, and the novel was short, and the economy, the efficiency of getting me invested in characters, and the dialogue. I loved all the quippy dialogue,
all the internal monologue sentences, and also the word choices that she uses for descriptions to make me see, feel, react to the scenery that she's deciding is important. Amazing, amazing. So definitely the favorite thing that I've read in this little like 24-hour vlog. It's probably this, Long Halloween, which like, man, it's just very well put together. Like, I just liked its project of it. I'm just a sucker for some good superhero time, and that's definitely like a really good form of it, and I like its narrative framework, like I mentioned previously. And I liked the young adult graphic novel short story collection. It's just that, like I was saying previously, not all of them were like up to my taste in terms of abrupt endings. So that's how I'd rank this vlog. Obviously, I'm loving The City We Became, but that wasn't a part of this project. And yeah, I hope you have a happy Halloween. This has been really fun for me, just being cozy, reading some spooky things, accomplishing some goals. I don't know. Let me know what you like to read, watch, do around this time of year. I might maybe watch The Batman, because it does have like Halloween vibes, and I just read The Long Halloween, which is heavily influencing this newest Batman film, but also probably, real talk, gonna just watch Jane the Virgin because it's me and that's what I do lately. But that's it for this vlog. If you want to leave an emoji, leave a house, a fungi, or a hair, because that is the winner of this Halloween vlog. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.